In Cape, just outside of Graaff-Reinet, we're at the Gqabi Dam, which has, I think, gotten us all to think this morning as we come to you live from what was a full flowing or overflowing dam at one stage. And I'm not talking in our ancient past, I'm talking in our very, very recent history. From about 2012, this dam was absolutely full to capacity, and now we're standing on a dry bed. That's it. There are dead fish everywhere. In fact, about 75,000 fish carcasses were picked up recently by the community because of the stench and how unhealthy it was to be around this area. There's also animal carcasses here, and that is just talking about what the detrimental effects for animals are. But can you imagine what's going on for the communities? We've spoken a bit earlier how there is no fresh running water, that some people have got no water to bath in, to go to work, to go to school, to cook in, to clean. Gift of the Givers have stepped up. They are trying to help. But this is a very desperate situation and a state of emergency, to say the least. So that's still going to continue. We're still going to talk to that. But when we arrived here this morning, we saw protesters arriving as well. And we feel that we did need to give them a bit of a voice. So we've brought our cameras across here. And I want to talk to some of the representatives from what they call themselves, the Southern Cape, no, not the Southern Cape Land Committee. I think it's the, what's it called? The Support Centre for Land Change. That's what it's called now. So I've got two of the representatives here with me that we're going to have a quick talk to just to see what their views are. So good morning. Good to have you, both of you. Welcome. What are your views? What are you talking to when it comes to fracking?
Actually, the main concern is about water. It is very clear that our municipality really doesn't have the capacity to deal with the current water crisis. What we are witnessing here is a direct effect of climate change, for one, but it's also a failing municipality. So in the event of fracking happening in the Karoo, it's got the potential of fluids, fracking fluids, leaking into the underground water table, contaminating the only available water resource that we are totally reliant on at the moment. Yeah. And it's clear that municipality cannot deal with it. Having fracking companies move into the Karoo will be like genocide. They will actually kill us in the Karoo. And also, the more fossil fuels we burn, the worse this situation is going to get. Yeah. I don't see this changing anytime soon unless we change the way we consume energy.
Yeah, and it certainly is a big worry. But at this point in time, fracking is not happening. However, you're saying that there's a lot of reports that do the rounds, that there are some service providers that are coming in, that are looking in the area to start something like this. This has been going on for a long time, I think since 2012, but nothing is concrete as yet that you know of.
Actually, there were some reporting about 3 companies that got the go-ahead for exploration. We've established subsequently that is actually not true, but it's been in the mainstream media. The people of the Karoo are totally confused. We have got no idea when they will come and where they will start. Yeah. There's been some reporting of drilling happening in the Beaufort West area. Still, we don't know whether that's true or not. We do have the ruling from TKAG and AfriForum that actually prohibits the fracking process, but that was procedural. Yeah. So we need something substantive to keep them out of the Karoo. Yeah. The minister keeps on announcing that gas is an option. They will explore the gas. We don't know when. They don't consult. Farm workers, small-scale farmers, we don't have any information. Yeah. And so we are terrified.
It's a lack of communication on your behalf, and this is really just a protest to stop them from even beginning that process. Life here, what is it like? I mean, we're standing in a dam having an interview. I mean, in the real world, we should be drowning right now in water, but we're not. What is it like? What is life like here?
Well, I am not from Graaff-Reinet, but as the Support Centre for Land Change, we work with communities across the Western Cape and parts of the Eastern Cape. So a lot of the people here today are small-scale farmers. And I think what is missing in the messaging around the drought is the impact on the small scale farmers. And so for us, this is also a land rights and a land justice issue, because we can't talk about water and about drought and we're not centering the actual people who are being affected by this the most. If you read all the media articles, the drought is very focused on the commercial farmers who are getting drought support. What about the small scale farmers? So if we are going to address injustice, it starts there. We can't centralize the people who are still getting all the resources and exclude the people who are actually still at the margins. So for us, we want the voices of rural people to be involved in the decision making that affects their lives, their land, their heritage, and also their culture. We were here yesterday as well, and we had one woman speak. She lives in an informal settlement, and just the impact of water also as a service, and how that further just deepens the poverty that people are experiencing in Graaff-Reinet. And I think women especially are bearing the brunt of this drought, because we are the mothers in our homes, we are the parents when there's no water, when there's laundry to be done, when women are menstruating, they have to look for resources. And especially, and I want to really reiterate this, the way in which the water is being provided to people. That also begs the question then, who is being centered in this drought narrative? And I think as a country, if we are really serious about redress, we must really look at how we distribute resources in crisis like this. And I think to our tone-deaf government, this is what the ban fracking is about. Listen to the people on the ground. We are not standing here in isolation. Like you said, we should have been drowning, yet we are standing here singing for our tone-deaf government to finally pay attention to the people in this country, but especially the rural voices in this country.
Very powerful. We hear you, we see you, and we're listening to what your concerns are and what it is that these are the real people living in the area. We're not talking to politicians, we're not talking to business people, we're talking to the people that are living here and that are struggling and trying to get their voices heard. So that's what we're trying to do through these broadcasts, is take the cameras and the microphones to the people, and I think this is a great example of exactly that. Ladies, thank you for talking to us, and thank you for coming and joining our broadcast. We wouldn't have known if you guys didn't come, so thank you very, very much for that. Let's take a break. We will be back with a lot more with our panel and other members of the community after this, including the mayor. Stay tuned.